A roar of excitement filled the air. I glanced through the program and circled an afternoon workshop entitled Faith, Feminism, and the Power of Love. An unlikely combination, I mused, mixing prayer and politics. The morning session went by quickly. After lunch, I headed to the workshop. It looked like about 50 women had showed up and were waiting for the presentation to begin. There were 8 panelists from South America, Africa, Iraq, Myanmar, Indonesia, and Thailand, seated in a half circle facing the audience. A few of them wore earphones for translations. The moderator led a discussion that centered on whether being a feminist or having feminist values was a contradiction with having faith or practicing one's faith. The moderator invited each panelist to speak. A quiet and diminutive woman from Bolivia, dressed in a black bowler hat and royal blue shawl, talked about her work in rural villages with poor women. I was a little sleepy after lunch and not really paying close attention, until suddenly a tense debate broke out between 2 panelists, one from Iraq and the other from Indonesia. The woman from Iraq fired an angry comment at the Indonesian woman about how Islam was a means of oppressing women and keeping them subservient in a male-dominated religion. The Indonesian woman defended Islam as a source of personal strength and faith to poor women surviving under adverse conditions. It was like watching a hard-fought tennis match, the ball getting volleyed back and forth over the net. An uncomfortable silence followed their debate. That's when I first heard her speak. Seated at the end of the semicircle was a tall, slender Thai woman dressed in saffron robes and flip-flops. Her head was a fuzzy crown of black shaven hair, and she wore thin, gold, wire-rimmed glasses. She spoke in a calm, quiet voice, soothing the waves of discontent. We cannot solve anything by anger. Anger doesn't lead us anywhere. It is more difficult to practice compassion and loving kindness. That is the goal of Buddhism. I woke up in a powerful flash of recognition as her words resonated deep within me. My body tingled all over, and I felt as if she were speaking directly to me. Something was happening that I couldn't explain. I simply knew that I wanted to spend time with her. The woman who uttered these words was Venerable Dhammananda Bhikkhuni, pronounced Dhammananda Bhikkhuni. At the end of the panel, Dhammananda invited anyone who was interested to visit her international monastery for women. Her kindness was contagious. Curious, I approached her afterwards as she sat quietly. I would like to come see you, I said. Dhammananda calmly pulled a business card out of her briefcase and wrote down her cell phone number. Come, she said, handing me her card. Look for a large, golden, smiling Chinese Buddha seated at the temple entrance. It was as simple as that. All I had to do was ask. That was 14 years ago. To this day, I still remember the first words she spoke, the prophetic wisdom of my spiritual teacher and healer, Dhammananda Bhikkhuni. Thus began the first encounter in my personal transformation and spiritual development. Chapter 1. Bangkok Bound. I was staring into the computer monitor at work when my phone rang. Even though it was not a complete surprise, my husband's question startled me. Want to move to Bangkok? 3 months earlier, Randall had received a job offer to go to Buenos Aires, Argentina. We'd drunk champagne on Friday to celebrate the news, but the following Monday, the offer had been rescinded. Is it for real this time? I asked. It's definitely going to happen, and fast. I have to be in Bangkok in 4 weeks. It was early July of 2005, which meant moving the first week of August. The thought of leaving so fast was overwhelming.